Thank you so much, Michael, for joining me today. It's a pleasure to have you here this evening.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm looking forward to a good discussion.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Hopefully, it will be a nice discussion. So, Michael, could you please tell us about yourself? What experience do you have, and why are you looking to be the next MP for Burlington?
About myself, I'm a software developer. I've been doing that for about 30 years. I coached hockey and soccer and a little baseball and basketball too for 22 years, even when my kids grew up. Um, and I played in bands and I play music, and I just really was enjoying life. Everything was going great. You know, you do the right things, you save your money, you work hard, you go to school. And then all of a sudden, the world ended up turning upside down
Mhm.
in 2020. I ended up coaching two teams during COVID because I thought what they were doing to the kids was just absolutely crazy, especially with the suicides increasing.
Mhm.
And the more I heard about these types of things happening and looking at real data, I started to realize that there was an issue and there was a problem. And what really got me off my butt, I was protesting with my girlfriend and now fiance, and you donate a few bucks here and there, try to help out the cause, buy that T-shirt or,
Mhm.
donate that money. And it just wasn't enough. And when they started to come out with the vax ports, the lockdowns, it just was really scary. Like history was repeating itself with the 1936
Mhm.
Pass, or my German's not that good, but my understanding is it's the health pass,
Mhm.
and that Jews could spread a disease. So getting a warning from a lady who did a speech in Ottawa about this, it really started to, you think, am I the only one thinking this? And when you hear a Holocaust survivor telling you that this is what it was like in Nazi Germany, it gets really scary. Then with the forced experimental jabs and that was just too much. I didn't trust anybody. I don't trust any of the parties.
Mhm.
I don't trust anybody out there. So I decided to stand up and come out of my comfort zone because once I saw it, I couldn't unsee it. And why am I qualified? Because I have integrity.
Mhm.
I fight until there's no fight. I know what's right, and I
Mhm.
don't care if it's popular or not. And those are the types of things our country is missing. I'll stand up for teaching kids things like coping skills,
Mhm.
life skills, critical thinking skills. And if you want any more DEI, didn't earn it,
Mhm.
then vote for the other guys. If you want mass immigration, vote for the other guys. If you want DEI, vote for the other guys. If you want that all gone and take your country back, that's why I'm running, so that I can have a voice for the people of Burlington. Thank you.
Thank you. So you said you don't believe in any political parties. Just you said. Please correct me if I'm wrong. So why did you choose PPC?
Because I'd given up on everything. I knew that the system was corrupt. Every single one of them were all in lockstep. And the scary thing is they're not just in lockstep as a uniparty, whether you're conservative or not. You saw our premiers, conservatives,
Mhm.
and how they acted. So everybody acted that way. And I felt it was necessary to step up, but there was nowhere to step up. And then what happened was this day, so I'm out with my girlfriend at the time. She's now my fiance.
Mhm.
I get a call, and it's about you know, jabbing our daughter, right? And it was made quite clear that it's going to happen or one way or another. So without going into any details, um, that's what happened. I was told to back off, and it really upset me. I was shaking, kind of crying out. I was in the parking lot for an hour or so, and my girlfriend came to get me. I was really shook up. I couldn't sleep, so I went onto Twitter, and I remember seeing Max Bernier at Queens Park, and what an inspiration that was. And when I saw an opening, I checked, and Oakville was open. I actually live in Oakville.
Mhm.
Um, but something happened where they needed me in Burlington. And I wouldn't trade that right now. There's so many amazing people. We've built so much in Burlington. Our riding association is strong. We're one of the top in the country. And it's because of the great team that we have. And I could never imagine leaving them because they are going to get us there. So that's the story there. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. You answered it. Why? My question was like why you chosen a PPC, but you said it, like
Well, they're the only ones, right? Everybody else, like I said, it was scary. Everything's
mm,
lockstep, right? Now they show the videos that people couldn't see, but if you had critical thinking, you could see the
mm,
patterns going on, right?
mm,
And once you see those patterns, it's you can't trust the system. You can't trust those in place because it seems like they all are in cahoots. And I felt that with Maxime Bernier, there was a man with vision, a man with conviction, a man with courage, a man that's willing to stand up. And that's the kind of guy I want to be. That's the kind of guy I want to inspire. And that's how our team should be. And that's how Canada should be,
mm,
right? We shouldn't care if something's popular. It's if it's right, it's right. If you think about the Jim Crow laws, sit at the back of the bus, can't use this washroom.
mm,
Well, guess what? That was a law.
mm,
It's morally wrong. And if you didn't stand up for the rights of people like Rosa Parks, then who are you? I don't care what the law says. That's wrong, right? It's not popular. It doesn't matter. What matters is, the the European Christian kind of values that we have that seek truth. A
mm,
man and a woman and a family go forth and propagate, that's, a leg up, hard work, help out somebody. That's the Canada that I really miss. And I really want to get that back. And the PPC has the solutions. If we enacted every single solution, well, okay, let's just do three. I bet you would feel it immediately. Imagine a PPC government. Wow, it's like Europe. Oh my God, what happened? The right just swept across. It's a purple wave. Now what's Max going to do? He's going to balance the budget. We're going to stop spending money on DEI. All these things, we're going to defund them, right? You're not going to have any money to paint your rainbows because what you should have done with that money instead is maybe you should have got some drinking water from some people that don't have drinking water. Perhaps you could have helped somebody a leg up, or perhaps you could have just taken the taxes away so people could afford to live again. So imagine that you get rid of that, you defund it. How much money are we spending on Ukraine, foreign wars, Palestine, Israel, wherever we're sending the money?
mm,
We can't, no. And the WHO, UN, all these things that don't serve us, like the mass migration compact, the official name, the migration compact, I guess, whatever it is, to me, it's mass invasion. We're overloading our system. That would take off so much pressure. And then the third thing, could you imagine if we defunded the climate hoax?
mm,
Net zero. Imagine how did COVID zero go? Huh? How was safe and effective? And you're going to trust these guys? No, gone. All that money. And all that money could fix our budget. Once we
mm,
fix our budget, we can pay our debt off. Right now, if Canada could be seen as a house, Mayor Hazel McCallion, one of my favorites, Mayor of Mississauga, she said she came to our school several times, and I've also gone to her rallies when I was in my, 14, 15, 16 years old. And she said that I treat this city like my house. I don't spend what I don't have. And when I do spend, I spend it on things that will help everybody in the family or add value to our house or future value for us. Those are the types of things that I think our country needs. She also had critical thinking skills, just so many great things. And I think that's what we need to bring back to our country. We imagine if we had that common sense to balance our book. Right now, our mortgage, it's huge. It's huge. Just ask Canadians. And
mm,
guess what? Think about your house and how much pressure that is. That's what the country's under. And now imagine instead of two kids in your house, you have eight kids. What's the stress on the washrooms, the watching TV or anything that goes on in the house, cooking, eating, even sitting, right? We're being overloaded, like a lot of our families are right now. And if you had a PPC government, you would unload all of those useless expenses. You wouldn't even notice that we weren't spending the money until you actually got the money back in taxes and
Mhm.
saw DEI disappear, saw the climate fear porn disappear, and government shrinking. So thanks for that question.
No problem. Thank you for answering it very briefly. So, as you said, a PPC government led by Maxime Bernier will balance the books. And I heard him saying many, many times. And yesterday, you had SpaceX on Twitter, on X, formerly Twitter. He was saying that I'm confident to balance the books within 1 year. So how can you balance the budget within 1 year where the deficit is $1.7 trillion? He said he will cut DI funds or
Ukraine,
green, yeah,
uh,
these things. Yeah, but
every,
but how much those would be? I don't think they will come to like $1.7 trillion in a year. How would you explain it?
I haven't personally crunched the numbers, but the thing that you need to know is we're spending like crazy. Our
Mhm.
line of credit, our mortgage, it's killing us. And we need to start being responsible. He says he can do it in a year. I'd like to see the numbers to see how we do it. Like I don't think I wonder if he's paying, I wonder if what he means is that we are balancing the budget. So within 40 billion, $50 billion, right? Where you take the, 14 from the corporate welfare that we gave to, I think it was Volkswagen, somebody like that. There's $14 billion. Ukraine, what's that? $15 billion. That's $30 billion. Like that's almost your deficit right there. And if we could operate with a surplus, that would be a great question. If we could balance our budget in a year, could we get a surplus? And if we did get the surplus, how big of that surplus could we pay down the 1.3 trillion? It's a good question. I was in the space. I know Max needs to crunch the numbers still. He's still trying to figure them out, but the goal would be to balance the budget within the billions of dollars, not the 1.3 trillion. I think he was talking more about the daily spending. Let's get rid of Netflix, get rid of Disney. Hey, we don't need the spare cell phone. Oh, we don't need Super Channel. That kind of cutting to bring it down so that your income is greater than your expenses. I think that's what he's saying, but I could be wrong. Uh, but yeah, paying off $1.3 trillion in 1 year. I mean, yeah, that's a lot of money. I'd have to see. That would be a tough one. But
Mhm.
it's not, but it is possible to pay that debt off within a term.
Yeah, yeah.
I think because if you can run up a $40 billion deficit, then and you can get yourself a 20 or $30 billion surplus,
Mhm.
you'd have a chance at least at getting back to it, right? Because I think a trillion is 100 billion, or is it 1,000 billion?
1,000.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
why I was like shocked when I heard that question. I was not sure that what he said. Then I asked it. Then again I went to listen that recording to confirm if he said that within 1 year, not within one term.
Oh no,
So
no, 1 year for sure. I thought it was balance the budget.
yeah, balance the
You
budget.
can do. It's billions, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
I
billion.
just proved you had like 30 billion just like that. And if you
Yeah.
dig deeper to the DEI and all the other things that we're spending money on, climate, cops, and all of this, that's what would balance our budget. I think he was saying balance the budget. I
Mhm.
would love to be able to pay off the debt because that's something we definitely need to do, right? He is like the interest is killing us. So we do have to start addressing that.
Yeah, this 1.7 trillion is like $1,700 billion. You got
1,700 billion, eh? And we're
yeah.
just getting chump change out of Ukraine and all the other stuff, huh? Yeah. We
Mhm.
have our work cut out for us. Can we afford
Mhm.
another globalist government? Can we afford another government that's not going to deal with this? That's not going to do the necessary cuts? I'm
Mhm.
not sure. That number's scary. Can we
Mhm.
afford to make the mistake? We're election behind Europe, right?
Mhm.
They had to have their one more chance of the conservatives in name lie to them about mass immigration and all the other things that were bothering them. And they did nothing, right? Your Boris
Mhm.
Johnsons, your guys. So what happens?
Yeah.
you elect the populace. But we still, the conservatives still think they're conservative. They don't realize they're conservative in name. And my question is, can we afford another globalist? Because Pierre's policies, to me personally, and I don't know what you think, when you want to build more houses, Jagmeet wants to build more houses, and Trudeau wants to build more houses, and everybody's saying they can do it better than everybody.
Mhm.
It's a little suspicious. It's kind of like saying, "Oh my gosh, the tub's overflowing. Quick, order another tub, bigger tubs at Amazon. I get that tub." And meanwhile, you're just flooded. Like, I mean, just look at that. I mean, it's kind of like masks, like, like 3 microns and 100 microns. So that's what, 10 times, 100 times, and it's going to work. Really? Can I use that doing drywall? Can I use that regular mask there if there's a real virus? Would they let me? No. And people just don't wake up sometimes to real facts. What do you think about that? Like, is it true? Like, is it just me, or they all support the same policies? They all support mass immigration. They all support DEI, SOGI, and they all support the net zero. And they're all fighting over who can please the masters in Davos better and faster. What's your opinion on this stuff?
So what I see, it means all are sharing their same goals. It means like no one is speaking though conservative. Like whenever talks with like mainstream media, it does not say that he does not he won't bring more immigration. He says that he will it means fix the process, fix the system to unifying more like unifying family members, or like bringing more qualified people or something like that. It means he's not directly saying that he's against immigration. What Trudeau is suggesting, it means he's not going against his policies, neither Jagmeet. So, as my opinion, Jagmeet and his NDP will never ever can form a government. So with respect to conservative, yeah, it means they are not saying against of these things, neither about the climate. No, like he's saying he's going to cancel the carbon tax, but he also like trying to bring something else, like what Erno Tool did. He said he will cancel the carbon tax, but then he proposed, no, I'm going to make it something like you can put it in your like bank whenever you need to get a bus pass, something that you can use those taxes there. It means that technically it means you are not going to cancel the carbon tax. And though many Canadians also oppose this carbon tax, also some would favor it, you know. So this is but right now people are tired with liberal, so they want a new change, a new pace in the Ottawa. But in my personal opinion, what I see and what I'm hearing and what I'm reading, uh, it means the most of the policies would be the same thing. What have been, maybe he will bring his own people or his own choice, but he is not going to do anything with respect to DEI and the immigration system and climate change. These things won't be changed. So right now, we have another topic with respect to uh, foreign interference in in CCOP. So no one is pushing too hard to get those MPs' names who are colluding with foreign powers. So that is another concern, like maybe you are hearing about in the news. So it means they are pushing, but they are not pushing that much. You need to bring a no confidence vote to dissolve this parliament, where many MPs are working for foreign actors. So it means they are not sincere with Canadians who are paying them, who elected them, and they are representing. So so these are my personal opinion. You cannot be agree, or that is totally up to
Uh,
you. But with respect
so
to your question.
So your premise is that we have treasonous acts.
Mhm,
We don't know until we see how
mhm,
treasonous, if treasonous,
mhm,
but we know there's violations and interference.
mhm,
So we agree on those terms, right?
mhm.
So the next thing is you think that our government should do more. Like we release the names. I've been putting it out on Twitter.
Yeah.
Release the names.
Mhm.
Got nothing to hide. Release them.
Yeah.
And I saw a clip from the Quebecois Party Quebecois leader
Mhm.
stating that he was going to go and get his security clearance. And he assured them that he is going to kick out anybody who's
Mhm.
associated with any of this monkey business.
Mhm.
And he also intimated
Mhm.
the reason, and I'm just getting a vibe from it. I don't think he came out directly. We could watch the clip. And I suggest you do see what you get from it. But it seemed like he was intimating that there was several on the other parties that he said shouldn't be in parliament.
Mhm.
To me, when you're getting questioned about that, it sounds like they're trying to hide something.
Mhm.
It sounds like the Parti Québécois leader seems to have a cleaner house and wants to go in there.
Mhm.
You've got Elizabeth May
Mhm.
coming out and going, I looked at it all. It's all awesome. So is she in on it too? Like, I want to know the list, right? Before I start listening to people, So to me, it sounds like another safe and effective Pfizer going to court to take the data
Mhm.
and hide it for 75 years. Here's my thing. If you got nothing to hide, show it. So you obviously have something to hide. So you're hiding something, which means you're treasonous. We should dissolve the government. If that's what you're saying, release the names, get rid of them. Let's dissolve government.
Mhm.
That's the premise? I'm pretty much all there for you. I think it's about time we had some justice and people were held accountable for their actions. So
Mhm.
I think I agree with you on that, if I'm understanding correctly.
Yeah. Yeah, you are right. And with respect to you are quoting Blanche, leader of uh, Bloc Québécois. Yeah, so he was the first person who stood in the House of Commons after the report was released on the same day. So he asked the government, yeah, you have to release those names, and Conservative Party did not touch that topic entire day, and then NDP's Jagmeet Singh also followed him to ask question about that. But Jagmeet is part of that liberal government. The liberal
Yeah,
government
yeah.
survived because of him. In the history of Canada, a minor government did not survive more than 18 months. So we are almost like 3 years. Yeah, like he cannot go hard to him. But there is one interesting thing with respect to Bloc Québécois Party. All MPs were born in Canada. All are single city, like it means they are single citizen, like they are not dual citizen, like what we can see in liberal and conservative or NDP. Some MPs are dual citizen and some were born outside. So it means that advantage Black Quebecois has with respect to this. It means those are more committed to Canada, though many are against of Canada. It means that is a sovereignty group or party who want independent Quebec. But with respect to that, being it means more committed to Canada than any foreign actors. Uh, yeah, with respect to that.
All I have to say, if our prime minister and our federal government cared as much about Canada as Rennie Levesque did about Quebec,
Mhm.
we wouldn't have the WEF here at all. He would have kicked their butts out, right? Uh, we need that strong leadership. I don't know if the guy's in the uniparty or not, but if he's not taking bribes or whatever it is, he thinks that he's squeaky clean. Well, that's what you do. You go, hey, I want to get to the bottom of this. I'm going to go read it. I'll throw out all the names because I got nothing to hide. But does Pierre have something to hide? Does he? I don't know. Why won't, like, you're the opposition.
Yeah.
Like, just correct me if I'm wrong.
Mm.
If somebody is hiding something, they're guilty. Like 99.9% of the time. Unless they're trying to hide your birthday present, they want to surprise you, right? That's about it. And I don't think that's what they're doing here. I don't think they have a nice surprise for us here. So I think that the names should be released.
Mhm.
Perhaps we should start having protests on release the names.
Mm.
And speaking of that,
Mm.
there was a victory in Peel. Last year, I was out there with the guys. They asked for some help for a certain couple of things. The parents been carrying the torch since.
Mhm.
And they got the Catholic schools in Peel Dufferin to not put the flag up.
Mm.
Good buddy, Derek Noonan, a lot of freedom fighters out there. There's some other gentleman, I can't remember his name. I'd love to make a shout out. He was there for the celebration the other day. But the point is, some of those people there are now going to the office, MP's office. I believe I have the date somewhere. Look it up. It might be too late by the time this airs, but it'd be really great to see a lot of people get down to the MP's office and in St. Paul and
Mhm.
demand to release the names.
Mhm. Wow. Okay. So you are talking about Toronto St. Paul?
Pardon?
Like where you are talking, which area you said, like St. Paul's,
Oh, St. Paul, the riding. I
right?
think it's the MP there. I just got a note a little while ago. I read it
Mhm.
really quick. I was at work, so I just kind of flashed it and went out for a cigarette really quick and went, whoa, okay, I better look at that later. But then I realized I'm here, so I didn't look at it yet. I
Right.
might go down. I think it's tomorrow or the next day.
Mm.
Um, but the point is that I think what we need to start doing is raising awareness.
Mm.
Like what I've been personally trying to do in Burlington for this year, especially is to knock on doors with an
Mhm.
immigration brochure for now. That's the first one that we designed.
Mhm.
We got to have those conversations. Now I feel like when I go door knocking this weekend, I'm going to have to talk to them about treason and how they feel about having the names hidden and having treasonous people sitting in Parliament right now
Mhm.
when a mother had her bank account frozen because she donated to the truckers. It's just disgusting. Disgusting.
Mhm.
How do you like? How do you feel? Did you think that we should be protesting more? Like, how how will we raise attention? Because we phone the police. What are they going to do? Like, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of ideas. Like, I'm not
See,
sure. They want us to forget about it. Is the whole idea not letting them forget, or what do you do?
yeah, like it means the police and the RCMP and CSS work under government, like federal government, and the police work in under provisional government. So it means all are just bounded, like they need to do what they're being tasked. You cannot ask them to arrest this MP or to investigate that MP until and unless there should not be a call from PMO or premier. And yeah, as long as you don't protest, so there won't be awareness. And if there would not be truckers convoy, freedom convoy, so we may not get rid of those vaccine mandate. It comes because of those trucker convoy. They put a pressure on the government to remove those mandates. And when this protest started, you remember, suddenly all premiers removed all the mandates except the federal government. Then when Pyri Puliar became the leader of Conservative Party, after a week, I believe, then Trudeau announced to removing all the COVID mandates. But then Pyri Puliar said he took the credit because he believed that he is now in the leader of the official opposition. That's why he removed it. But the pressure was from beginning. Those truckers, protesters. So it became so, as long as there would not be any protest against this one, I don't think so anything would happen, because we have seen foreign interference in 2019 and 2021. The report was released, nothing happened, gone. Though there are some journalists, especially like Sam Cooper, the chief of the bureau. I don't know you know him. So, but he's writing about these things, and there are some other great journalists, but it means mostly these issues are just gone. But suddenly, when this comes up, so again those are coming up. But as long as there would not be a public pressure on the government, like such something like freedom convoy, so we will never ever see those names. I don't think so. That is my personal opinion. Maybe I will be wrong, but this is what I'm noticing or observing.
Yeah, it's as though we live in a hypocrisy,
Mhm.
hypocritical world. There was Vishal Mangashi. I met him last year. It was awesome the way he explained how when you come to, Christian European or European Christian values,
Mm,
that it's about truth. And no man is above a man or below a man, equal, not equity. Equity is communism, by the way. If you hear that, it's
mm,
communism. Just
mm,
letting you know.
mm,
But equal application of the law, truth,
mhm,
and those are the things that he identified that we've been losing for X amount of time. And it's
mhm,
almost deliberate attack on us, attack on our family, attack on men, on sex, like you name it. If they can divide it into a little box, that's what they're trying to do. And he says that anytime man believes he's equal to or above God, and you hear Hugh Hari at the WEF, we're going to hack humans. We
mm,
are the gods. Anytime you have that happen, in history, you see it ends up in genocide, starvation, debauchery ends up collapsing. And we're seeing the effects of that now. And I just hope that people wake up fast enough and can get it back, because you can be Hindu, Muslim,
mhm,
atheist, it doesn't matter. What you came here for was to be Canadian, but then everyone goes, well, what's Canadian?
mm,
Hockey, maple syrup, some things like that. But each region has its own, and you must know that from India, from United States, from Russia. These places are a bit different, right? They
yes.
share the same culture, but to me, the culture truly is our values,
Mhm,
our values of a leg up, the
mhm,
values of a family, about working hard, about having opportunity, about having freedom to choose your own path and not have people stealing from you through exorbitant taxes,
mhm,
right? It's allowing more freedom, smaller government. And this type of society is much more desirable. It's built on meritocracy, on respect, on fairness. What they're building with the DEI, the SOGI, is hypersexualizing children where they shouldn't be. They're teaching anti-white, anti-Asian racism.
mhm,
I don't know if you're light enough to be racist against. You might fall into the other one, but they have this like almost white category so that they can pick on you because you work hard and you get ahead, so we got to pick on you. Um, so that's a thing. And then the other thing is, if you look at it, the poorest people in Canada, the bottom poorest, are white. What does
mhm,
that tell you about white privilege and the fallacies? And just today, a report came out pointing out that people are waking up to the fact that it's actually destructive. There's no proof it works in any way, shape, or form, only proof that it's not working and causing damage. So I hope people begin to wake up. If you don't vote for a PPC government, I really don't think that you're going to be, you're not going to be voting against those things. Because
mhm,
I don't think Pierre is going to do anything. Jagmeet's not going to do anything. And Trudeau, well, he's the ringleader on this stuff.
mhm,
So that's my kind of to pitch on that.
mhm. Yeah, so it means that Trudeau has been found guilty twice in ethics rules, but he did not like resign. He's supposed to resign back in 2016 when he was found guilty for taking a vacation in Aga Khan Island. Like if it happened anywhere in a democratic country, the prime minister would immediately resign. But there is something else. I don't know what kind of rules are in Canada where the corruption is keep going on. The prime minister breaking the rules. No, nobody gives a damn about these things. This is surprising for me, and I don't know if anyone else is surprised or not, maybe you are used to. But it is, I'm completely shocked. But now I'm used to, after like keep airing or is doing the same thing.
Yeah, I think our job is to
Mhm.
wake up the lions. We need some brave people in the positions. If, they couldn't have compromised everybody. And if some people could step up and be courageous and take that chance, like people did during COVID, then maybe we could turn this around. We gotta, it's gotta be a wave. We have to figure it out. We have every election that we have, we have to get those people out. Every time they try to do something that's against the values of our Canadian culture, of against us by stealing from us and spending our money on stuff that is a waste, taxing us into poverty. We have to do something about that. And I think it starts, you fight globalism with localism. And I think we've got to start supporting more of our local businesses more because they were destroyed so bad deliberately because, who picks essential?
Mhm.
The big boys, obviously, and it seemed deliberate. It was the greatest transfer of wealth in history, to my knowledge, from the poor to the rich. And they picked, yep, small business, thanks very much. Billions of dollars to me, none for you. And I think it's time that maybe we as citizens can start to redirect our money and our resources into things that are more wholesome. And if we could get enough people into government to cut the funding to these wasteful programs, then maybe our kids would have a chance at having some money in the future, and being able to get a house if we get this under control. Um, so I think it's just up to us to find the lions, and I, really pray that we do find those courageous people at those moments in time, and they make the right decision to get it together. Obviously, we can't count on the RCMP head who actually goes and interferes with an investigation to promote, new gun legislation.
Mhm.
And how do you feel about gun legislation? Curious, because I'd like to say something about that as well.
Gun legislation is off. Like it means you are not restricting the illegal gun owners. I mean, they can bring it anytime from anywhere, but you are just like you are uh, restricting law-abiding gun owners or law-abiding citizen. They should not keep a gun for their own safety. So this is completely ridiculous, you know.
I totally agree. And I believe the Harper government had a majority and they could have done something about it. Or, well, I mean, Trudeau would have screwed that up, I'm sure, after.
Mhm.
But to me, it's kind of like when you hide something, it means you're lying, right? And if you want to take law-abiding citizens' guns away, to me, it means you might be thinking of doing something they might want to shoot you for. You know what I mean? Like, why would you want to do that while criminals are running around? It's like COVID. No, we have to spend money on programmers and databases and digital ID because, that keeps people safe, right? Because we don't, it's nothing to do with digital ID and CBDC and testing and all that stuff. It's about safety, right? It's the same thing again. You see, like, oh, well, if I care about health, then maybe I wouldn't fire the healthcare workers that didn't get jabbed. Maybe I would invest money in beds and not digital IDs. And digital databases and tracking system, and this just to me seems like it's that again, right? You're there making excuses. We can see you're not addressing the root cause. And your narrative, we can see it. You want to take guns away from law-abiding citizens. It's obvious. It's obvious. And why would you want to do that? Why? Do you want to do something really bad that a guy that would snap and suddenly shoot you because you come to his house and try to jab him or something? Or what are you trying to do? You're trying to steal his property? Like, what are you trying to do, government, that you don't want law-abiding citizens to be able to hunt for moose? Why are you injecting all these wild animals with this crazy mRNA? What are you trying to starve us? Like, I don't get it. Like, with all that's been going on, almost anything's on the table these days for this stuff, right? For me, if you want to take guns away, it's like, why are you hiding the treasonous people, right? Like, it's the same thing. You're doing something that's just a red flag that you're bad. You know, you're up to no good, right? You're hiding treasonous people and you're trying to take law-abiding guns away from citizens, right? So my take on guns is I would love, and I got to read our official policy again. I didn't brush up on it, but me personally, as a citizen, I would love to see everything rolled back and allow citizens to be able to own firearms from handguns to AR-15s, to hunting rifles, to little anything that they would like to have for sport shooting, hunting, and those things. And I would also like to see, let's go after the gangs. Let's go after the drugs. Let's go to the border. Let's close the border. Let's stop the illegal guns. Because if you're serious about it, you get to the root cause. But did you notice that they never get to the root cause, right? The root cause here is criminals, illegal guns, and drugs. So let's just leave them alone. We'll have a catch and release, change the law to catch and release, because that totally makes sense, right? Totally makes sense. You know, and we'll take the guns away from the law-abiding citizens, right? And then you get the other thing too. It's the same thing with the other policies, right? They never get to the root cause of what's causing the housing crisis, the stress on healthcare. Well, yeah, it's mass immigration. Can't take 2 million people in, right? But they won't address the issue. Every single one of them is proving they got a better plan to build houses, right? To me, another red flag has gone off. Anyways, I just wanted to make that analogy. Thanks a lot for letting me speak about that. Don't get to talk about that much.
No worries. So, for these changes, you want, like, you want a PPC government should come in and do uh I mean, to resolve these all issues, a PPC government, then you don't have much in the, the polling shows that conservative is in the top, like according to 338 Canada projection. So conservative is like 43%, followed by liberals with 25%, NDP 17%, Bloc Québécois 8%, and Green is 4%, and just 3% are for other parties, including PPC. So how can you make a government when you don't have much support? Though there are many people who are saying that we don't need DEI or other thing or mass immigration. So what's your take on this? How
Well,
form a government?
Canadians have been conditioned
Mhm.
to vote people out. Red,
Mhm.
blue, red, blue, red, blue. Same in the States, almost the same in England. And then you see some changes in some other electorals. So if you keep getting worried about, oh my God, what if we don't get rid of that guy? And you don't vote a guy in, then nothing will ever happen. And when you talk about numbers like that, I played sports enough. I've been captain of a football team, captain of a hockey team. I didn't deserve the captain of the hockey team. It just was kind of tough. And I don't know, they picked me one year. But and baseball, all those things, head coaching. And the thing that wins is you always get up, right? Always get up. I've been down 3 touchdowns and I won the game 35-28, right? Nobody could kick in high school hardly at all, right? Like, you're lucky to get the one pointers. But I've done that. What was I supposed to do? Go, oh my God, it's halftime. We'll never score four. Oh my gosh. I better just quit now, right? That's not how it works, man. How it works is you keep getting up and dusting yourself off and you keep going. And every time you fail, you hope it's quick, because the sooner you fail and the sooner you figure it out, the sooner you're going to be successful. And right now, I haven't stopped. I know, we dropped it from 5 and we went up to 10 and then we came down to 5. Now we're at 2. And I don't know what one you're looking at, but it was 4 before. And it's just been going like this. To me, doesn't change a thing. When I go out and if I'm a pitcher, I throw the pitches, right? That's what I do. Every pitch, every pitch. I don't worry about, what happened there, bases loaded. I worry about the pitch situation. Same when you goaltend, especially in soccer. I remember getting hammered once, 3 goals quick. And I actually got an MVP for being a goalie when I was littler, like, I don't know, 10, 11, 12, right? I used to play goal before I went out. Um, and the coach used to say to me, he just used to say, listen, you focus on each moment, right? Each moment, and you move forward and you build. And that's what he did. And ever since I did those types of things, my dad told me the same thing about being a fireman. When there's a fire on, you focus, you focus, you focus, and you keep moving. And there'll be a time to relax, rest, or do whatever it is that you need to do. But what I say is, don't be scared to join. Don't be scared to split the vote. Stop. Join us. We're going to make a difference. It takes hard work. Nobody else is going to do it for you. And I think maybe too many Canadians are like, oh, thank God we got Pierre. Now I don't have to do anything. Right. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's an unfair thing. But I'm willing to get my feet dirty, my hands dirty, and I got a team that's willing to do the same. And if we can keep going, I don't know if we'll get a seat in the next one, but if I can get 10, 15%, and then that'll be the cycle like Europe. 2029. It's a long game, right? And I'm in it, and I promise to do it for the next election. So I'm in it hard. I don't care. Like, we go to 10, 15, 20, 10. I'm going to keep trying to track the best I can. I'm going to have one conversation at a time, and I'm going to build the riding piece by piece.
Mhm. Okay. And there is on each April 1st, MPs are getting a pay hike since 2019. What your thoughts on this? Should MPs get a
I,
pay hike?
I don't think those guys should be getting a pay hike. I don't think they're doing a good job. When you've got Canadians suffering the way they're suffering, how you can eat cake and look down and not do something about it, it's disgusting. Personally, I think, and maybe you'll have to record this, hold me to my word, but I wouldn't have taken a pay hike when Canadians are hurting so bad. I'd even almost consider thinking if I could maybe cut back a little bit and maybe donate some of that money because of some of the food banks are so low right now. I mean, that's what you would look for from your leadership. Not just, being in your own bubble, and just taxing people. I don't agree with that. I personally wouldn't have. And if I would have taken it, then I would have given that raise to the
Mhm.
Burlington food bank.
Okay. So could you please confirm how many doors have you knocked since you joined? Like you have been nominated for Burlington candidate for PPC.
So since 2021. So we did about 3,000 houses only. It's not very good for an election. You should probably hit about 30 to 50.
Mhm.
But we got 3,000. I started 2 weeks late. I've never done it before. It was me, $2,000 in my pocket. My girlfriend, who's fiance now, her back blew. And my friend with MS, and that was it. That's how we started. And then after that, we ended up building. So that's 3,000 there. Then we started the riding association. We basically focused for 2021 and 2022 on get your tribe. You couldn't canvass a lot, right, because of COVID. So what we did is we had events and protests, and we called it Find Your Tribe. And so we tried to, get the people that felt lonely and alone together so that they wouldn't feel alone anymore. So that was the first primary goals. Then starting last year, I started knocking, well, actually the year before too, I started knocking on doors, but we only hit about 500 that year. I went on a vacation, and a lot of people had vacation in the summer. So, but then we hit 500. Then max, I did about couple thousand doors. I was working every single day for 31 days, putting in 6 to 12 hours. And on average doing approximately, the best day I could do like a couple hundred if they're all close and you're not traveling. And then bad days are like 50 to 60, but you've been out all day because you had to drive an hour and a half, and the towns are all spread out, or the driveways. So I'd say in total with maxes, we just did 1,100 this spring. I'd say I'm getting close to 5,000, 6,000 doors knocked. Me personally, maybe about half of those, 4,000 of them, over the last 3 years. So I'm I'm hitting a lot of doors.
So what are you hearing from the doors?
Well, that's interesting because I'm not actually doing it the traditional way where you go for your top polls. I'm kind of like trying to drive through some places that I'd like to have signs. And I don't know if that's smart or not, but I just wanted to drive through a neighborhood that was the major road. So I went through the major road in Brant Hills to just see, and it goes from one end to the other. I think it's about 200 houses. It took me like a weekend and a half to do it, like, 2 solid days. And I might not even be finished yet because there's an apartment there too, which I can't go to now. Um, but what I was hearing is at one end of the street, like it seemed like as you're going through, there were segments. So I do 50 to 100, probably about 100 a day going through it. And the one segment that caught me off guard, well, not off guard, but there was some people who've been voting for the Liberals their entire life, 50 years the guy did. And there was just a bunch of them in a row, right? Like, so for some reason, when I started at this other end and I was doing it, I met a lot of people like that and they're looking for a home. And well, what is your home? I just don't know. I just know I need a change, right? So a lot of undecided. Um, I met my first NDP, like hardcore NDP. Like sometimes they're at the door and they go, "Yeah, I'm a gold CPC member. I like you guys though, but I'm CPC." And you mark it on your thing, right? So pretty solid is undecided. And I managed to get, 2 to 3 members or identified votes. I need to start making that tens and fifties, right? Like to be realistic, I can't go out just myself or me and two people. But yeah, I am seeing undecided, some longtime liberals looking for a home, some conservatives pretty pissed off at mass immigration. Everyone loves that pamphlet. I don't even know if they're conservative or not. Like some are, and they just blatantly tell me, yeah, I vote conservative all the time. So I'll mark them that way, patriot, maybe they're accessible during the election because we think alike. Um, but but it seems like a lot of people are looking for a change. Like they're undecided or they've been 50 years with the liberals, they're looking for a change. I don't see a lot of conservatives saying, "Hey, I'm conservative. I'm going to vote liberal." Like I've not seen one of those. Like I know, no, no. Any of the liberals that I have, and they're very nice. Most of them are nice. The odd one was slam the door, "See you, you're racist, get out of here." So you get that comment once in a while. But very lovely ladies, beautiful gardens. You can tell it's a very nice neighborhood, and they're super nice. And I just showed them the mass immigration and they were willing to take the literature. Like as I talked about it a little bit, they went, "Oh, let me see that." And so that literature is quite popular, actually. It seems like that's a big topic. Trying to think, I didn't go this weekend. And what else happened? That's about it. Like, because you're going to get the people that are PPC, you talk for a bit. You're going to get the undecided. They don't know what's going on. Some of them know me. It's kind of weird. They didn't know the PPC, this one house, but they knew me from the Million March. I organized that and some other rally or something like that. And that was weird. But then the wife came. She goes, "Hey, it's Mike, the PPC guy. We voted for him." Oh, that's him. Yeah. And I had a beard and long hair, so he didn't recognize me, but she did. Um, so that's been my experience. And it's like totally amazing talking to these people because even when I don't, they're a liberal, but you're talking about stuff, they're just still Canadians, right? It's still nice to see that I'm not getting the yeah, like, yeah, I'm not talking to you, like literally having a great conversation, like very polite. "Oh, this is how I feel." I'm like, "Oh, you do? You think that?" And this one lady was just great. I'm probably not going to vote for me. I marked her down not to revisit or whatever, but she was really nice, had some great points. And so I really enjoyed it. It seems like the people are ready for change. But the liberals are liberal. Like they're liberal. I'm voting liberal. You could ask them why. They don't really know why. I could play more games at the door, but I don't feel like, imposing too much. I just want to be polite and, "Will you vote for me?" "No." "How do you feel about this?" "Great. Bye. Hi." So that's what I've been doing for the last six to probably about 8 weeks now, something like that. And we had one super canvas, so I didn't do all 1,100 myself this year. I had 300 help. I had two teams help me get 300 of those. So yeah.
So how many volunteers do you have in your riding?
Wow, I don't know. Like I was doing some numbers and it's something like 125,000 or something like that. Like yeah, eligible voters, something like in that neighborhood. And I think in households about 68,000. Like those are ballpark. Don't hold me to it, but they're pretty close, plus minus 10,000 or so, right?
Oh, like PPC, how many PPC volunteers?
Volunteers.
in your riding, like, but
Oh, in my riding, I have volunteers that are outside my riding too. I'm blessed that way, like Oakville, Hamilton, and Waterdown. But I'd say probably we have about 20 volunteers. And we have a board of about six right now. Um, we have a few changes coming. We have a position or two open. We're trying to expand a little bit.
Mhm.
For our super canvas, we got about 12 people. So we had two teams of four plus a couple of shadows, and then myself doing the fly. Um, that was a lot of fun. We're going to do another one, I think July 15th or something like that, where, we'll go to the church, we'll go out canvas for a while, have some hot dogs, listen to some music, talk, and I really enjoy that getting together with people.
Mhm. So you were talking about church. Church you brought up. I need to ask you about churches are being vandalized, burned,
Oh.
set on fire.
Well,
What's your reaction? And recently, just a week ago, a church was destroyed by fire in Toronto. It is not confirmed yet. It was a suspicious fire or it was just a electric shock, something.
well, we can see the double standard, right? Like to me personally, I feel that Christians are under attack, right? Like you can't have your Christmas tree, you can't do that. It's offensive. Oh, but Diwali, and we're gonna have Chinese New Year, and it's ridiculous. Like, when my friend, they're Christian, they're from Goa, one's from Pakistan and one's from India, but they're the godparents of my daughter,
Mm,
and it's so nice to celebrate Christmas. And then my other friend, he's Sikh. I met him a long time ago. He's actually a founding member of PPC, and he came to Canada to be Canadian. Right?
mm,
He wanted to come to Canada and be Canadian and have the culture, and he believes in all the same things, even though he's Sikh. It's the same stuff, right? Family, man and woman,
yeah.
don't kill anybody, don't steal, if somebody needs help, help them. I mean, I don't know many religions that don't have that. Like that's a foundation of Canada,
Mhm,
and that's what people come here for. When we get people coming here and they're bringing their baggage with them, right? As you can see with Palestine or Palestinians, and this group against that group. I think Max was right that multiculturalism has completely failed in that regard. Um, I hope I answered your question. I went off topic.
yeah. Okay. So is there any message for Burlington residents?
Uh, All I can say to Burlington residents is I'm trying so hard to meet every single one of you. I have events where you can meet me. You can check me out at michaelbator.com. I have everything there. You can look at the history and see who I am. One thing you will get with Mike that you won't get with the other parties is you're going to get someone that's going to stand up for you, that's not going to be whipped, that's not going to look after lobbyist interests, who's going to get us and fight for us, and I'm going to try to put more money in your pocket. And I'm a fighter. I know how to win. I work hard and I believe in our country. And that's why you should vote for me. I don't trust Emily, nice lady, great with a gun. Karina, she's already proved herself. She's got blood on her hands. And all those guys have blood on their hands for what they did, knowing what they knew and allowing it to happen. And I mean, really, green, you're going to go for net zero. You think that carbon, which we're made of, which we look for in space to find life, is bad for the earth. I can't see any other choices. If you truly want your values represented, if you believe in family, if you believe in modesty, in a balanced budget, if you feel that you want to celebrate Christmas and celebrate Canadian culture and not have it so crushed, if you want to stop the mass immigration and get it back under control, then there's no other choice than to vote for Michael Bator in Burlington.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Michael, for being with me this evening. And it was a great conversation.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. It'll be great. I hope you don't live too far. Maybe one day we could get together, have a beer or a coffee or a yogurt or I don't know, something like that. Sit down and chat. I love your point of view. You
Mhm.
have the information down. I like that. So thanks so much for having me on. I had a great time.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Thank you.